to the second episode of the Hardest Noob to Pro Challenge. In case you haven't seen episode 1, here are the rules. Can't spend any Robux. Can't buy any Brainrots, only stealing. No transferring Brainrots when I rebirth. No getting help. And the special rule, Ultimate D, which means every time I get a Brainrot stolen from me, I have to sell every Brainrot I have. In the last episode, I stopped after I got the money for the 4th rebirth. Let's see how far we get this time. First off, chopped bird spawn. Everyone was fighting for this bird. But anyway, my main priority right now is to search for the Brainrots I need to rebirth. I found them both in this base right here. After waiting around a bit, the friggin' left. But soon enough, I had already found another Glorbo. I found the victim, hit, and then trapped her and proceeded to steal it. And then she just gave up. Anyway, that's 1 out of the 2. Now just for the chef Crabracadabra. After that Glorbo steal, this server was dead, so I hopped. Oh my god! Chef Cadabra on the belt. Too bad I can't buy it. A bunch of nothing later. This server was low-key dead, so I hopped yet again. Same thing with this server. I just kept getting nothing burgers. Then it happened. Chef Crabracadabra. Someone had bought the Chef Cadabra on the conveyor belt, meaning it was plotting time. I kept railing the victim until his face unlocked, and that's when the plan started. I was just 1 step away from rebirthing, but now I have to start all over again. Anyway, let's start by buying some traps. But then suddenly... Chef Crabracadabra. Kaboom! Finally, let's rebirth! On to the 5th rebirth. The first thing I tried to steal was this thing that was in the friggin' crafting machine, but soon enough I found a Pandacini. Pandacini Bananini. That I unfortunately failed to steal. That's enough. Time to hop. Anyway, now I was broke, so I gotta be careful how I spend my bag. Friggin' boogie bomb. Right after that, I found a wide open base with a free legendary. 1,000 a second is pretty decent for some stealing gear. I looked around a bit before collecting a fat bag from my octopus. I then found this stacked base and tried to take a diamond Alessio, but unfortunately I got Medusa headed right before I got to my base. That meant it was time to switch it up. I also just realized we can now buy the invisibility cloak, although we don't have enough money yet. Anyway, after collecting a little bit from my octopus, I found this open base with a giraffe, but panicked a little bit and didn't even touch it. Later, I found an open base with a tralalaritas. However, someone got to it before me, and my apologies to whoever this was, but the owner ended up locking it before I could steal it. But anyway, I ran around a bit before collecting another fat bag. I set my sights on another victim and waited it out before executing. Chihuanini taconini. And holy crap, if it weren't for Medusa, I'd send this kid's ankle to the hospital. I got up and tried again, but by then it was too late. After collecting a few more bags from my octopus, I decided to gear up a little bit. Now I won't need any more stupid coils. I started looking around with my Invis cloak, but none of them were really any good. I did try this one, but he locked it too fast. But anyways, that means we hop. First, I failed a couple more times. But after a whole bunch of nothing, I finally got a steal. Leru, leru, leru. I tried to steal this Pandacini immediately after, but I failed. Anyway, this Larule will be a big help in making some money. By the way, I am also looking for a Orangatini and Frigo Camelo for my next rebirth. Anyway, I batted and trapped this kid and proceeded to steal a Crocodillo. If only not for this friggin' girl. Tried again. Bombardiro Crocodilo. But I still failed due to some random kid. Tried once more for a Sigma boy, but my luck was out, although my Larule's bag was stacking up. Anyway, after failing once more, I was over it and server hop. I got another friggin' dead server. New server, new me. Time to wreak some havoc. Oof, or nothing. I was reaching a roadblock with all these dead servers, but then suddenly, Burr! Burr! Nah, I am playing, I stole it. Hopefully this burr carries. Slowly the millions were stacking. I thought something was rare up here, but it was just some bull. I reset and looked around a bit before server hopping. A few seconds later, I found this server's victim. Let's go Invis and make a devilish plan. I ran around a bit more and I was back. Come here, little rat. He locked his friggin' base, so I had to reset. Sigh. Another failed attempt. Let's just keep searching. Buy a trap real quick. Holy moly, Giraffa Celestre! New victim found. Tracodu coturu de la pena dusti. Holy aura! 12,000 a second dinosaur. Not bad at all. Where's the next victim? There's the gold Giraffa Celestre from earlier. Yet another fail. Cheese was stacking up, though. And let me buy a few traps real quick. And it's time to lock in. I was also making some progress on the rebirth. And after looking around a bit more, this happened. This base that joined in was actually stacked, but I decided to reset in case my base was about to open and I wasn't finna risk it for the biscuit. I actually had more than enough time, but oh well. Time to steal! Piccione macchina. But then suddenly, someone else comes and steals something from this new guy. So we just waited out until finally, let's go, baby. 225K a second. Was about to steal something, but then, and of course I accidentally reset. Doesn't really matter, because my money was getting close to the amount I needed to rebirth. All cause of this pigeon.
W pigeon.
I've run out, so let me just buy a few traps again. The money was definitely not running out, though. I'ma just wait in my base till I have 100 million. Just in case I got a little extra for some gear. Then I sold everything. Now I need a Frigo Camelo and a Orangatini. So I went out looking, but there was friggin' nothing. This means we hop. Let's see if there's anything in this server. I found an Orangatini, and after waiting around a bit, that's 1 out of 2. Now just for the Frigo Camelo. A few seconds later, I had found one, so I bought a few traps to prepare. There was only 10 seconds left, and when the time came, I threw my rage table but missed the friggin' trap. He ended up locking it, forcing me to reset. Getting a Frigo was not going to be easy. I continued searching, until eventually I decided to hop. I went out of my base and holy guacamole. There was a guy with a Frigo next to me. 10 seconds left on the clock. Rage table. He dodges it but runs into it a second later. So I come in and put him on a trap. Since his base was so close, next only came a smooth and easy path back to my base. And with that, we move on to the 5th rebirth. The cycle repeats. Just like that, I was already out to hunt for another victim. I found this open base that was like yellow only or something, but anyway, I stole the best thing, which was a pee-pee potato. But yeah, this will be a decent moneymaker for some basic gear. Also, his base was still wide open, so I stole some more stuff from him. More traps yet again. At this point, I was still scouting for a victim. Until eventually, I found a Bulbito Bandito on this guy's 3rd floor, and so I went to go steal it, but unfortunately got locked before I could do anything. Although I was starting to get some money. Another trap later. I looked around, but nothing happened for a bit. Gotta make sure to keep my base on lock, too. Right outside was a victim, and his base had just opened. so I stole whatever I could get my hands on and made a run for it. Soon enough, I had to start juking, and my legs just weren't fast enough. Defeated, I went to go out looking again, eventually settling on this base that was just about to open. This was 52.5 thousand a second, which was really decent. And after moving the Brainrots around a bit, I set out on a mission to rebirth again. My first attempt didn't go so well as I got locked in. Neither did my second, or my third, or my fourth, or my fifth, but after repeatedly trying and trying, this happened. A extinct ballerina, 125,000 a second, was my new best Brainrot, and so the money came rolling in. The guy I stole from's base was open, and the stealing only continued from there. Getting the money to rebirth now came with no difficulty. A few minutes and I had already done it. After I got some extra money, I decided to sell everything like usual. Now just for the crocodilo. Around 2 minutes of searching, I had found it. Stealing it was no hard feat. And so I went on to the next rebirth. Stay tuned for episode 3.